listen back to the woods that I ever dreamed. Give us a chance to realize our dreams, and we will take it away for the clear blue sky we found. Is through the day that the Rainmaker could take you and me to turn this world around. No longer bound to keep our feet on the ground.
This program is sponsored by Mediterranean Garden Centre, who give advice every week to help you with the jobs in your garden.
Welcome to Garden Time. My name's Sue Ghazi, and with me I have Serdar ARAPOÞLU, who is the owner of Mediterranean Garden Centre in Alsancak. And today we're going to talk about designing a new garden. So, Serdar, when we're moving into a new house, it's always exciting because we have a blank canvas, really. We have a garden to design for ourselves, and we can decide which kind of plants we're going to use. So what is the first step, really? What should we be aware of?
Yeah, when you look at the first picture, you start to worry about it because it's too messy, isn't it? You're saying, oh my God, how am I going to get on with this? And then later you start to clean up, and when you start to clean up, you realize the garden is coming out. So what you're saying, okay, now I have a plan, good plan. I can do what I like, and you can dream and you can think what you're going to have. But most important things when you clean the garden is the concrete mess.
Well, this is it, because, I mean, when you're moving into a new house and the builders have just left the house there with, you know, pieces of cement and rubble, that kind of thing.
Lots of mess.
Yeah.
It's expecting lots of mess.
That's it. So first we have to clean that.
We have to clean that. Afterwards, we have to check how much water we have in the garden. If it's not enough and we have to lay down more soil, we have to level it. We have to make sure the garden is level. So then when we start to lay down the soil, it's important the topsoil you bring it outside. You have to make sure big quality soil. Sometimes you bring the soil and your garden soil is better.
Ah, right. But I believe we can actually check what kind of topsoil we have, can't we? If we bring a sample of the soil to your Mediterranean garden shop in Alsancak, you can actually do the test for us, can't you? Maybe to see which kind of plants grow better in which particular kind of soil.
Yeah, there is a system we doing the testing, what kind of the soil, what kind of the vitamins they have enough calcium, iron, and then if it's salty, if it's too much calcium, or sometimes there's a soil, we call it this country gonno, has nothing inside. And if you're trying to grow something this soil, you got no chance.
Yes.
So it's better to choose the very right soil from the beginning.
Yeah, because there's nothing more disappointing, is there, if you choose to, say, plant something like a rhododendron or something which needs acid soil or whatever.
Exactly.
You take it home, you plant it, and you think, oh, I'm going to have a lovely big flowering bush, and
you end up with the
happens.
yellow.
It dries up and it goes yellow.
Yeah, you end up with the yellow plants.
Well, that's useful to know that we can always get the soil tested.
Yeah, it's better. From the beginning, it's better. And then after all this cleaning and you're leveling up your garden, I don't suggest to use the manure, because sometimes you look, they lay down every manure. Mostly in this country, the manure is fresh. We don't have dry burning manure.
Yes.
If you have dry burning manure, it costs you no trouble.
Yes. Well, this is it. I mean, if you're using manure, of course, you have to let it mature, haven't you?
Yes.
You can't just put fresh manure onto the garden. Otherwise, of course, the plants will burn.
First thing that, second things, you end up with lots of weeds, which is we don't need that.
All right.
And then there is another things we can do, very beginning of this job. We can use some weed killer to clean the lawn straight away, even because I believe at least couple years it takes the building. So imagine that couple of years, the weeds is growing, they drop in the seeds and they grow in again. Yes. This means there is a lots of weed seeds in the ground.
And not only that, if they've been there for a couple of years, it gives the chance for those weeds to get stronger and more difficult to get rid of later on, doesn't it?
Exactly. As much the weeds they stay in there, they are stronger and there's more seeds there. We have to clean all this.
So the weed killer which you have there in your shop, that actually kills the seeds of these weeds as well then? So it's not just the roots, it's the seeds as well?
There is a kind of the weed killer which is kill the seeds as well. So if you use that, and then less trouble. This not means this weed killer will kill 100% of the, because sometimes the seeds might be deeper. So the weed killer cannot go that much down and kill the weeds, but the weeds seeds as well. But still is working at least 70%, which is
That's
less
a good
of
help,
chop is
isn't
go
it?
out. Yeah. And then another things what we need to do, we need to look how much water we have.
That's
Because
true.
depends of the size of the planting the flower, you have to watch out the water as well. If you don't have enough water, then less plant.
Yes.
And then of course you can choose the dry plants, which is hardly ones, good for the less water.
Well, that's it. I mean, some plants are more drought resistant than others, aren't they? And of course, in this Mediterranean climate,
Very good.
I mean, we have to be careful in summer because, I mean, the last thing we want is our garden to dry up, you know, with the plants and all the effort that we've gone into it.
Or not good performance. Sometimes they don't dry out, but still they don't look happy.
Yeah.
You try a lot, using the fertilizer. Sometimes we go crazy and we give them lots of water. We say, no, I give this lots of water, and but it's not working. If
Well,
it's
that's not good for it either, is it, to drown the plants in a lot of water either?
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah,
Then if we can do the irrigation system, it's better.
yeah.
Of course, if it's possible, irrigation system. But at least if we don't have chance to do irrigation system, we have to search, or we have to come to us, Mediterranean Garden Center, and we help you what kind of the soil you can use it in your garden. There is a kind of the soil, we call it black soil, which is hold the water.
Oh, that's more like we would call peat, I think, isn't it? The black,
Exactly.
fibrous kind of soil. And
So-
that helps the plants to retain the moisture, and so they'll obviously grow a lot better.
Yes. And then, as we said from the beginning, not everywhere manual, or sometimes I see they're using the compost everywhere. They put in everywhere compost. That's only cost you trouble. So what we need to do, only where we plant the plants, there, when we digging down, maybe we take the main soil out, and then some compost, some good quality soil, maybe some dry and burn
Right.
manure on the bottom, and again very on the top, just use the main soil. You take it from your garden.
I see.
Because if it's soil no good, but if you use it very top on the round, no problem.
Right, so it's just a question really of putting these in when you're actually planting.
Exactly.
So that they're well prepared and you're going to get the best out of your plants by preparation.
Yeah. It's important the roots at least 30-40 centimeters they're going to go down to touch the right kind of the compost or soil.
Right, so
And
we
then-
have to dig deep a little bit.
We have to dip and
Yes.
powder.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with that way, you give the chance the roots to grow quicker and the plant will be stronger. Of course, time of the year as well when you're planting is important as well. If you're trying to do all these jobs, the June, August, July, it's not very right time.
Yeah, that's it.
It's-
I mean, they're just going to dry up, aren't they?
Yes.
You know, it's
This
too
means
hot
you need
for
more
them then.
water, you need more effect, you're lots of take care about them, lots of things you need.
Yeah.
With the right time, maybe, especially this time of the year, is the best time. So the weather is helping you.
It's very pleasant at the moment, isn't it?
It is. Weather is helping you. It's giving you
Yes.
rain, is enough cool to plant will be happy. Whatever we need at the moment, we have.
Right.
So it's good time for the planting.
Okay. So, but to plan ahead with the irrigation system, okay, we need to lay the pipes and we need to have the area level. So I gather these are on like a drip system.
Yeah.
So that will keep the plants moist at all times. So that will help them to grow, you know, much better, won't it? And we'll get a better performance from the plants.
Yeah. Irrigation dripping system, because it's the slowly giving the water,
Yeah.
the soil is hold the water.
I see.
So as long the soil is wet, this means the plant is getting more water. This is, again, still the soil is important, what kind of the soil you have. But at least with the dripping system, is more time soil is going to be wet there. So it's working very well. And then, of course, depend on the time when you water in during the day. If you water in hot time with the hose pipe, most of the soil is go up because it's too hot.
That's it, yes. It's going to evaporate.
Yes.
Yes.
So with irrigation system, you don't have this chance. But still, we don't suggest to water the hot time, even with the irrigation system as well.
Yes, that's it.
Maybe in the morning early time or evening late time is the best time still, because sometimes when it's too hot and you water in, it causes you lots of sickness, like fungus and lots of material. You're breaking the material of the soil as well, the plant.
Yes.
And it starts getting yellow plants again.
Yeah, and I suppose if the weather's hot and you're splashing the leaves with cold water, then it can burn the leaves as well, can't it?
Exactly.
You know, so you've got
Exactly.
that problem as well, which is
Yeah.
a pity after you've gone, you know, to a lot of trouble to establish the plants in your garden.
Yeah.
And then they go and, you know, get the leaves burned.
Always I'm saying, the water on the leaves is making like a glass and it's burned when it's, because it's taking the sun and it starts to burn the leaves.
That's it, yes.
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 So we have to watch out about that as well.
And the other advantage of having an irrigation system, of course, is that if you do happen to forget to water the plants, you're not going to come back to them in the following day or 2 days later and find them all dried up, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's another good thing to.
Irrigation system. And of course, if you use the timer, is the best. Because with the timer, you can just adjust the timer and in the morning, because sometimes you want to water the garden in the morning, but you don't have chance, you don't have time.
That's it,
But
yes.
with the timer, this chance is coming to you.
So really, you could, once that's all set up, you can just forget about it.
Exactly.
Ah.
You only worry what time of the year you need to use the fertilizer. And of course, now is the garden a new system. There's a timer shower, the rain shower. So what you do, you join this in the timer, and on the soil, it shows you. Actually, it's not show you. It's just give the delivery for the timer, and when is the rain, is lock the timer to not to give the water for the. Yes, there is this kind of technology in the garden as well.
Right.
It's blocking the timer that when it's wet, not to give the water for the garden.
Well, that's good, because then your plants are not going to be overwatered, are they? Because I mean, if they have to, if we have a lot of rain and the irrigation system is
actually
watering
why
as
climate
well.
is
They're
gonna
going to
come
get flooded, aren't they? And then they're going to start rotting and
wasting
dying,
water as
so-
well. Wasting
yeah,
water.
Well, of course,
Yeah, which is we don't have much.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But very beginning of about the irrigation system is not only about the irrigation system. Sometimes you're saying, okay, I'm not going to have irrigation system. I'm going to choose the right kind of the soil which is holding the water. But what we'll do, we need some tops round of the garden. And of course, with irrigation system, from the beginning, we have to lay down the pipes, either for irrigation system or either for the garden tubs. So what I'm trying to say here, before walking areas and the patios, we have to lay down the pipes.
So it's all in the planning, really, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah.
from the beginning.
And much easier to do it at the beginning when you're planning your garden.
Later on, you need to
Then-
break it.
Well, yes. I mean, if you design your paths and you concrete them, or you put stone paving down, well, then you've got to break it all up, haven't you, to fit the...
More trouble.
That's it.
So always, if you go, as you said, from the planning, from the beginning, there's a kind of the things you need to follow in the garden. Of course, for the advice, anytime, for your questions, and you can call, you can email, anything. We are giving advice. We are trying to help the best.
Yeah.
It's better with the plan. If you know what you're doing from the beginning, is always easier.
Yes, and of course your contact details are in the Cyprus Star, so if anyone has any queries, any questions, they can always contact you.
They're very welcome. And then I like to talk a little bit about the fruit trees.
Oh, yes.
Of course, if you choose the right kind of the fruit trees, is easier and more healthy plants. So this area, that's why we've seen everywhere olive trees, almonds, pomegranate, because this area soil is good for them. But that's not means, okay, we have this soil and this is the only fruit trees we can choose. No. As what we said from the beginning, if you dig down the very deep and then you bring the kind of the right soil in the down, you give chance to maybe if you are wishing to have citrus tree, lemon, tangerine, orange, and grapefruit you want in your garden. Yes, on the bottom, if you do good jobs, right soil, then you can have them.
So would the soil, let's say for citrus trees, have to be different for pomegranate trees or for almond trees?
Yes.
Is there a difference?
Less
or-
descent fruit trees is with the dry soil and less water, even we call it gonno soil or white soil, they don't have any acid, they don't have any calcium or iron or magnesium. If they don't have it, with this kind of the fruit trees, they will be all right. But the citrus trees and another tropical, because sometimes we just go into another country for holiday and we're saying, I wish they have this avocado or kiwi or something else. Lots of things we want, we wish to have in the garden, so we can have them. But as what we say from the beginning, we have to choose, we have to know in the soil what vitamins we have, and this soil is good what trees.
Because actually I've seen banana plants here. I don't know if they actually grow the fruit, the bananas, but we've got banana trees here as well. So would you recommend, trying bananas and other kinds of fruit trees? What about peaches?
Yeah, peaches is good. Peaches is good.
Yeah, I know they grow in Turkey, but I don't know if it's too hot here for them,
No,
maybe.
Mediterranean climates is good for the peaches. But you have to prune it very good. Spraying, right time, the spraying, because this kind of the fruits is cause trouble a lot with the insects.
Right,
And
so they do need a lot of care.
they did.
Right, so we can get the advice from you though, can't we?
Very welcome. Then you have to, with the bananas, the Cyprus bananas is famous. They small and sweet, and they don't need lots of maintenance. It's the only things where you're going to plant the bananas. Because this country is too windy.
They don't like wind.
No, bananas doesn't like winds because it's burning the leaves, it's cutting them you cut them like the season. So you have to watch out which corner you're going to plant the bananas. And of course, I'm always saying, if you have a swimming pool, of course, you have a shower outside as well. So near the shower is a very good idea because you have in the shower and still water is going to bananas.
Oh, that's a good idea, isn't it? So it can drain off and they can benefit from that water.
Exactly, you're using that water, and when you have in the shower, you don't feel bad. I'm having a shower, but I'm wasting this water. No, you don't waste it. It's go to banana, and later
so you're
you can
killing
have.
two birds with one stone.
Yes, this is important. Yeah, if you follow this kind of the things. Water, we're always saying always water. Water is important. So lately what I'm seeing, the people, they started doing, you know, okay, we dry countries, summer times, we don't get any rain. Still we're hoping, even these days, this time of the year, and still hoping.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the dark clouds sometimes, but there's actually no water coming from them, is there?
Yeah, it's keep hearing in the news, today is going to rain or next week is going to rain, but still nothing comes. Nothing comes.
You see one or two spots on the windscreen and that's it.
Yeah, it's dropped last week, couple drops,
Yeah.
but no. So, but we have good winter. We having a good winter. So there is a good raining, but what's happening here? You're from England, and you can always know in England is slowly rain, and is give the chance the soil is taking the down, but in here not slowly rain and often is all of a sudden it start to rain a lot.
Yes.
And it stop. Never slowly, couple days. I never see in here raining all the time, raining, and not good. So what's happening is you have to take the rainwater and keep it in the water tank. It's a good idea. And then you can use this water in the summertime. So you see from the beginning of the house, new house, you do in the garden, if you follow this kind of things, it's easier for you to say, okay, I'm doing it from the beginning of the garden, but still there is something I can follow and easier for me.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Serdar. It's been lovely talking to you. And this brings us to the close of garden time for this week. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will say from here, good gardening again. Well, then we'll see you next week then.
Thank you. Well, that concludes this week's gardening time with Serdar ARAPOÞLU, and we look forward to seeing you again next week with another topic for the garden.
Why are Gardena cutting tools so reliable and long-lasting? Why are they so comfortable to use? Because Gardena tools' quality and perfect form are constructed by people who love gardening themselves and who know just what our customers want. Because their innovative ideas are put into practice with the best materials and the most up-to-date production techniques. Because we make high-quality materials even harder and even better. Because we strive for perfection in the production phase, only our best blades go on for further processing. Because we constantly test our blades for precision. Coat them using the most modern methods, thus permanently improving them for easier cutting. Because our precision blades are mounted with the greatest accuracy. And ultimately, because our employees have a trained eye and an intuitive feeling for each of our products. This is how perfect cutting tools are created, produced and tested for many years of tough garden use. They resist blistering sunlight. In tests, our high-quality plastics have to withstand the intensity of 3 years of Australian sunshine. They are left out in the cold, defying temperature shocks from -10 to +60 degrees Celsius. They are constantly in use. training in the laboratory for a marathon 7,500 meters lawn edging. They are tireless, enduring tests in which the handles are opened and closed 50,000 times and 5,000 cuts in hard, dry beechwood. For the sake of your joints, they absorb the hard impact of 2,000 lifts and then still have to be able to take a fall or two without complaint. Because this is the use for which our cutting tools have been developed and produced, winning prizes time and again with a 25-year guarantee so that you can enjoy them for years to come. Gardena. Live your garden.